I'm gonna first start off by laying the Palo Santos because I don't want to get mad. I don't want to curse and I don't want to get sad, but if it happens, right? Say a quick little prayer. Ashe. So I don't want to be long on this video, and it took me a minute to even do this video, but I don't want the message to be misconstrued. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not doing the video. I'm not doing it for sympathy. I'm not doing it to advise anybody. I believe in when you know better, you do better. So I remember when I was faced with the decision, I went to YouTube just to get some information from a spiritual standpoint on abortion, and I couldn't find anything. So one of the purposes of this video is to is to give that information, because if you know better, you'll do better. Also to get the attention of those who are fighting so hard for it, and I don't think they understand what they're fighting for, because you do have to keep in mind that this is a spiritual war that we're dealing with, and in a way, when you do that, you're helping the other side. We're not in control of anything. Oh, and neither are they. God is. But you have to know that every single person is here for a reason. And once you know that, you'll understand it, and you'll have a different outlook on the whole abortion thing. Let's see, he would call right now. So pretty much that's my point. And I just had a couple of points to make. Damn, I left my tablet. Let me see if I can remember. All right. Number one point is make sure that if you already had one, I'll do another video for healing through it. But this is for my people that's right now and they questioning back and forth, especially since they put this time limit on it. It's kind of rushing people into a decision, and you don't want to be rushing to a decision. Unfortunately, that's one of the things I had to deal with. I was rushing to a decision. But you don't want to be rushing to a decision. So they rushing people and they making the same mistake. That's my opinion. Once again, I'm not here to advise you not to, and I'm definitely not about to advise you to. I just want you to know. Just make sure that one is something that you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's just going to be you. You're going to be the person that have to deal with it, whether you're in a relationship or not, and a person say they understand. It's going to be you. You are doing this to you. You are doing this to your body, and you're going to have to deal with it. I was about to make a point there. And that's why I say women that say men and women, when they have sex, they're making an equal exchange. It's not. They have no idea what their power is, or what they hold between their legs. But it's definitely not the same, because of the fact that although men can pick up attachments, we are on the receiving end. We are getting everything. So it's not the same. It is not equal. But once again, you're going to have to deal with that. I'm trying my best to stay on topic, y'all. You're going to have to deal with that. So number one thing, stay away from people with a negative output on your pregnancy. If they're not saying congratulations and mean it, get away from them. Move your feet. Run away from them. I don't care if it's the baby daddy, your mama, your friends, your coworkers. If they're not saying congratulations and honestly meaning it, get away from them. Move away from them. Because once again, when we tend to tap into our feelings, this is why you have to balance, and this is why emotional intelligence is so important. And even sometimes we go through things, because I always feel like my emotional intelligence was very high, but this was something totally different. This was something totally new for me, but I did get lessons from it. And this is why you can't be in your emotions at all the times, because when you're in your emotions, you're too far in the emotions, you're not everywhere else that you need to be. You're not in the center of your chart. So when you listen to other people and they come in, it's not going to make sense to them, because this is not their chart. And they get in here and they like, nah, that ain't right. And then they advise you or help you decide, whatever you want to call it, that this is not a good idea. You end up your car end up in a ditch Now you got to get your car out the ditch. You got to pay for that. You got to deal with that. So you have to remember to stay balanced and remember to stay centered. That was one of the things I was looking back. I was not centered at all. So I don't know if this was like something I had to go through to let people know, because once again, I don't think, I'm like really sweating, y'all. I don't think that the women that's fighting for it understand. They just thinking on a society level. They thinking about, well, if I had this baby and I thought like this as well, in this society, I don't have no, if I didn't have no help, or how could this go? It didn't make sense. But if you notice and if you pay attention right now, with this society is falling. It's about to leave, and the only thing that's going to be left is real life. So if you're looking at it from a societal point, or you're looking at it for society, is this the best thing you could do for society and not yourself? Rethink it. What's my other point? And I remember after going through what I went through, I don't want to get too much into my personal story. It's mostly just the lessons I've learned, like I said, to let people know what this really is. And I remember it's a quote from Maya Angelou. She says, there's no greater agony than a story untold, or the lessons from that story untold, when you hold on. Like, a lot of people do like to hold on to things, and this is why they're so swollen and full of stuff, because they don't know how to properly let things go. And they think if they just shut down, that's the answer, and that's not the answer. And go back looking at the people that I know have dealt with this before, but never really opened up about it, besides the fact that they did it. Going back, it made so much sense how they act the way they acted. I didn't have a clue then, so now I know. But I've been sober. I've been really sober, because you have to actually express and let things go. So this is another reason I'm doing this video, to let go and to hopefully touch somebody. If I could just save one child, I would be happy. Like, you really don't even know. But that's what I was saying. Once I went through what I went through, about 2 weeks later, I lost my oldest brother. And I remember thinking for the longest that was my fault. And I just thank God for knowledge and healing and forgiveness, because I now see that was just a way that had nothing to do with me. But the lesson there was, you don't control this. Only God does. And you shouldn't play with life, because you never know. You never know. But what other lesson did I get? What else did I get from that? Oh, and I remember being a very indecisive person. And now it's like, make a decision and keep going. I won't ask anybody for a hairstyle, nail color recommendation, nothing. Make your own decisions. Make your own decisions. At the end of the day, you have to live with it. I'm trying to see what else I got for you, because I really hope this helps. Because I remember so vividly when that first came into my head, because at first I never ever even thought about this, but when I did, I remember researching, like, somebody like, God, send me an answer, like. And like I said, it's your journey, and maybe you have to go through some things to get the lessons, but I remember for sure my lessons were there prior to this. This just really made me tap into that, like, really made me get it, because I can be hard-headed. Shout out to Scorpios, because Scorpios is actually, I remember looking at this thing about Scorpios, and it said that if you ever come across a Scorpio, that's God trying to tell you something, and he needs you to change. So, but whole nother story. I don't want to get into personal stories, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Once again, people that's fighting for it, they really don't understand what they're doing, because this is a spiritual war, and you don't want to help them, and you don't think you're helping them. You think you're standing up for your own right, your own human rights, but nobody should have a right to tell you if you should commit murder or not, if you should try to control something that God says or not. You shouldn't even need that for that. You should already know that. And I get that it can be hard. I know exactly, because I remember I was trying to flip it every kind of way to try to, because I'm a Sag, I'm trying to flip it every kind of way to try to get the best outcome or positive outcome, and it just wasn't looking right. But then I also was around the wrong people at the time. Not saying that they intentionally, that shouldn't even matter, because once again, it's back to you. And I just didn't make the right decision, I feel. And I own up to that. But if you have already dealt with that, you do need to find ways to release. You do need to find ways to give birth to that soul, whether it's a book, whether it's a project. You do want to try to find ways to give birth, because you do not want to hold this inside. And if you haven't, like I said, if you're not ready to see especially if you didn't really want to and you're doing it for somebody else. If you're not ready to see that child or that spirit every blue moon, maybe in a dream, this ain't what you want. It's not what you want. And I think I'm gonna end this here, y'all, because I got a headache and I'm sweating like crazy. But remember that it's all love. I promise you, I love you. And like I said, if this video can just save one, I'll be so happy. But until next time, namaste.